If you look at it. State your name, position, and locality, please.
My name is Johnny Morant. I'm chairman of Georgetown County Council, Georgetown, South Carolina.
So you're an elected official.
Yes, I am.
And how long have you been an elected official?
14 years.
How many years?
14.
You've seen a lot over the years, haven't you?
I've seen quite a bit.
And so have you always been a big library supporter?
Yes, I have. I've always been a big supporter because I have two children. When I first moved back to Georgetown County, and the library was something that when I grew up was somewhat lacking, and that we did not have a library where I went to school. We had one in the school system. There was not a public library available for people living in the area that I lived in. And so one of my goals was to make sure when my kids came back to Georgetown, they would have that opportunity. So I've always been a supporter of the library.
But why was that so important to you?
Well, because I knew something was lacking in me when I got the opportunity to visit outside of Georgetown County and realize what was going on, especially in the high school. Even at that stage, we only had the library in the high school. There was not a library out in the area that I lived in. And when I went to college, going to the library, doing research, it meant so much to me to have those material available to me to really look through, to read, and understand a lot of what was going on, and really saw how far behind I was as a result of not having that opportunity.
So have you had any success?
Very much so. I think since returning to Georgetown, we got involved and had no intention of running for county government. Basically wanted some things out in the outskirt areas. I lived in the rural areas, and I moved back home for my two children. And of course, there were very little recreational activities out there. And in talking with a few of the people out there, they say, well, because he's a lawyer, then you can do this, you can do that. We want you to run for this office. Didn't want to, of course. But then living out there for a couple of years, I realized things were just not changing. And people were not being elected from that end of the county. So I made a decision to run for the office, hoping to make some changes.
So what has been the consequence of the ICMA library project supported by the Gates Foundation?
It has really opened up the eyes of a lot of people in Georgetown County, because what has happened is it extended the library opportunities into the outskirt areas, into the rural communities, because the younger kids in those areas, very difficult getting them involved with the libraries. This project, when Dwight started talking about the hurricanes, everyone understands in Georgetown County what a hurricane is, what a storm is. And that reached a whole lot of people very quickly. And so this project has sort of expanded the interests of children and adults in our library system in Georgetown County.
Has it made a consequence with regard to preparation for hurricanes?
It has done that. As a matter of fact, our emergency service director is a part of the team that assisted in the video that Dwight showed. And he's been very instrumental in bringing that about, along with other department heads. And when we did have the hurricane party, as Dwight liked to refer to it, that brought out a tremendous number of people, not only county government officials or department heads, but the hospital staff and other groups all chimed in to assist with that effort to make sure everyone could identify and understood it, and they wanted to be a part of it. That's the good thing about it. It was marketed real well, and all of those various entities wanted to be a part of that. And in a sense, that kind of opened up the doors and more opportunities for people to know and learn more about our library system, because some folks who never took the opportunity to visit the library, by coming out there to that particular function, really decided, well, we're going to go and look at this video, we're going to return home, we're going to look at the DVD, and those type of things. So it really opened up the avenues a whole lot of things.
Do you think people in Georgetown see the library now as part of the emergency response system?
Yes, I do. I think the county government also sees the library as part of that system, because we now know how important it is to get information out. And the library system is there. It's there in the county. It's spread out throughout the community, so it's there where people can really utilize it for that expanding service that we need in the county. So yes, to answer your question.
And what advice would you have for city managers and county managers around the country in dealing with elected officials and and people who don't have particularly a natural interest in the public library, what can the appointed officials do to get greater awareness and support?
I think by communicating with elected officials, sometimes that's lacking and it's taken for granted that people just automatically assume this and assume that. But I think when you're dealing with various departments where some may not have a genuine interest, simply communicating what that department brings to the table and making sure that the elected official understand that makes a big difference. And I think a lot of it goes to communication. And I've always said the librarian, as others, are constituents. They are constituents of elected officials. And sometimes you find managers and administrators discouraging their employees from contacting elected officials. But we have a sort of an open door policy in Georgetown. We encourage employees. We're not going to do anything against this or that. We want you to communicate through your managers and administrators, but at the same time, if there's something we need to know, then we ask that you at least let us know and we can deal with it. So I think just an open door as far as communication, having access to your elected official and understand that they too are a part of the community. Sometimes we kind of distance that, separate that, thinking elected officials are somewhat different. They're not. They too use the library. So I think just from a practical standpoint, that makes all the difference in the world, being able to communicate, simply calling. I've done that several times. There's individuals with calls, well, can I stop by for 5 minutes to discuss a particular issue? And that happens all the time. So we have community meetings. At those meetings, sometimes we have administrators invited. We invite them to the community meetings with the community and ask the community to kind of share your thoughts and ideas about various topics and subjects. And that has worked out very well. And in Georgetown, it's very open. Very little is hidden. Doesn't mean the elected official is going to do everything the community requests, but at least we want to hear what they are and then make some intelligent decision. But if we don't know about them, sometimes we can't respond to them.
Thank you for your participation in the project. Congratulations, and thank you for your years of public service.
Well, thank you very much, and we certainly appreciate the grant that ICMA has provided in Georgetown County toward this project. Thank you very much.